In today's video, we're going over how to start seeds indoors. Whether you're starting vegetables or flowers, this video will show you how to start your seeds inside. Before we can start seeds, we have to get some supplies together. A lot of professional growers and seasoned growers like to use plug trays. I ordered these from Harris Seeds. You can get them from Johnny Seeds. This is a 50 plug tray, and you can use this and buy lots of these if you want to, or you can go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar, whichever of the dollar stores you want, and buy some aluminum pans. These aluminum pans I picked up at the dollar store. It comes with its very own humidity dome in the pan for $1. I will say, if you're starting something that doesn't like root disturbance, like zinnias, you're really going to want to use something like the 50 plug trays. But if you're planting something that doesn't really mind root disturbances like snapdragons, marigolds, then dollar store is the way to go. We've also have some wooden labels so that we can label our seedlings, because even though you think you're going to remember what you planted, you will not remember. And then we have our seeds, some Cosmos. We'll be using a seed starting mixture. You don't want to use potting soil because it often has heavy fertilizers in there that are going to harm your seedling. It's best to start with a nice light seed starting mix. Right here I've got Magic Moss seed starter, which I ordered from Harris Seeds. We're going to start with our dollar store trays, and I'm just going to pour the seed mixture into the tray. Now that we've got our seed mixture in the tray, we do not want to add the seeds. You're going to want to add water first and get the soil nice and mixed before adding in your seeds. If I were to add seeds in this nice loose soil, this is what would happen when I add the water to water them in. They would wash away. So it's best to add a little bit of water and then mix it in. And when we're mixing in our soil, we don't want to get it too wet or have it be too dry. We want it like the Goldilocks method. We want it just right. So as I'm stirring in this water, what I'm looking for is I need to be able to grab the dirt, squeeze gently, and then have it clump together like so. When I squeeze, there should be no water coming out of the dirt. It should clump just like that. That is perfect. When you're using the dollar store trays and you don't have drainage holes in these trays, you can, if you'd like to, punch holes in the bottom of the tray before you add the dirt, which personally I don't feel like having to find a tray to set these in or to drain out of, so I don't put holes in it, which means I have to be very wary of how much water I add. It's always better to be a little dry than soggy. So now we're ready to add seeds. Today we're going to be planting double click bicolor pink Cosmos. I purchased these Cosmos through Johnny Select Seeds. Website will be down in the description. They are not sponsoring me, but I really like Johnny Select Seeds because it's got a lot of information on the back of the seed packet that tells you how to plant these seeds. So some seeds require light to germinate, in which case you would only leave on top of the soil or lightly cover with soil. Cosmos do not require light to germinate, so I'm simply going to place them into the soil and cover them. Now that we've got the seeds planted, this next step you don't have to do, but if you're going to have seedlings that are going to stay in the tray for a long time, it most certainly is helpful. And even if they're not going to stay in there a long time, like the Cosmos, I still just like to add them at this point. It's just habit. A nice layer of vermiculite. We're just going to sprinkle this on top. And what vermiculite does is it helps the moisture control. It helps regulate the moisture control, and it also helps protect against algae growth, which you don't want happening to your seeds. Next up is just add your humidity dome onto your dollar store pan because it came with it, and boom, it's done. Oh, almost forgot. Label, because even though now I can tell these seedlings apart, I need to remember what plant or variety of that plant I actually planted. It always helps to put the date on there as well. Now today I'm just using a permanent marker. However, there is a garden marker that I use for planting outside that is weather resistant. This, if I were to put this label with permanent marker outside, it would just eventually fade and I wouldn't be able to read it. But for indoors, it makes good use. Now, a lot of people like to just set this in their window. We're not going to do that. Placing your seedlings in a window is not enough light, generally speaking. It'll help germinate them, but what you're going to end up with are leggy seedlings, which means they are way too tall and they're going to flop over, which we don't want. So what I have here is just a Fairy Morse light system. You just set it up. It cost me about 40 bucks. I can just lug this in on my kitchen counter and then leave the seeds there under the light, and it will produce beautiful, strong seedlings for me. Once your seedlings have started germinating, or you've reached about 50% germination, be sure to remove your humidity dome. A few additional tips. If you're using a plug tray to grow, be sure that you add your dirt into a container first, wet it, get it mixed up, then add it to your plug tray. It's really hard to get the dirt nice and moist if you're trying to start each individual plug. Trust me, learn that lesson. And with the plug trays, you don't need just the plugs. You're also going to need a drainage pan to have a liner as well, because these are pretty flimsy. So this will help keep everything nice and in line. I've also used to grow in just these liners as well in this drainage tray without poking holes, but once again, you just have to be careful that you don't overwater them. Here I have a beautiful tray of zinnias. So how do you know when it's time to either pot up your seedlings or transplant them outside? You are going to look for a plug tray. You're going to look at the bottom of the plugs and see if you see roots. You can see some zinnia roots here already poking out. These zinnias are ready to be planted out, but they still have a few more days before they can go in their permanent home. I'm going to give them a couple of days to transition outside. When you grow plants under a grow light, they're not used to the heat and intensity of our sun or the wind that they're going to have to deal with. While your seedlings are small in their trays, to run your hand over them every once in a while to stimulate wind. If you have a fan that you can put in the room to gently blow on them, that will help them strengthen and be great healthy seedlings. When you get ready to put them outside, you are going to put them out for about an hour the first day, 2 hours the next day, and so on until they've worked up enough where they can take on the sunlight without being scorched. I have a whole playlist dedicated to going from seed to 1 month seedlings and transplant. Be sure to check out the playlist beside me for more of that. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to smash the like button, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.